Hello, and welcome back to Basic Arithmetic Without a Calculator. I'm Elizabeth Johnson, and this is Lesson 5A, Fractions and Equivalent Fractions. Let's start out by defining what a fraction is. A fraction represents a whole object that has been broken into an equal number of small pieces, like this pizza. You can see that this pizza has been cut into 8 equal pieces, and therefore 8 is going to go at the bottom of this fraction. It's what we call the denominator. Denominator refers to how many pieces an object has been broken into. Alright, now if somebody came along and started eating this pizza, and they helped themselves to 3 slices, well, that 3 is what we call the numerator. A numerator refers to how many pieces we're talking about, how many we're interested in. So what this fraction is talking about is somebody has eaten 3/8 of the pizza. 3 of the 8 slices are gone. Now if somebody came along and just grabbed one more piece, that would change this fraction. The top number would now change into 4. Now we are talking about 4/8 of the pizza that has been eaten. But looking carefully, you can see that also is 1/2 of the pizza. How can that be? Well, the two fractions are equal. They're what we call equivalent fractions. Two different fractions that represent the same proportion of the object. And if you wonder how we turned 4/8 into 1/2, this is it. You look at the top number and the bottom number and try to find a number that will divide evenly into both the top and the bottom without any remainders. And in this case, 4 is that number. Divide the top by 4 and you get 1. Divide the bottom by 4 and you get 2. And that brings us to the first rule of fractions, which is this. Whatever you do to the numerator, you must also do to the denominator. When you're making equivalent fractions, you won't be doing any addition or subtraction. You're always going to be using either multiplication or division. And if you do the same thing to the top and the bottom, the new fraction that you come up with will always be the same proportion. So let's try it out on a couple of other examples. Here we've got 3/15, and I want to turn it into an equivalent fraction. Well, I'm going to start out by trying to make it simple, because a simplified fraction is so much easier to understand. So to simplify this fraction, I'm going to look at the 3 and the 15, and I'm going to think of what number that can be evenly divided into both of them without actually going over. And in this case, that number would be 3. If I divided 3 by 3, I would get 1. And if I divided 15 by 3, I would get 5. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So there's another equivalent fraction. That's the simplest form of 3/15. But there are other ways I could go. For example, if I wanted to make this fraction bigger, I could say 3 multiplied by 3, which is 9. And 15 multiplied by 3, which would be 45. And so 45 would also be an equivalent fraction. So those are two different ways I could have changed this fraction into an equivalent fraction. Now let's just try one more. 6/18. First of all, let's try to make this one simpler. And obviously, one number that stands out is 6. I can divide 6 by 6 one time, and I can divide 18 by 6 3 times. So the new fraction would be 1/3. And so that's how we could make it simpler. But what if we wanted to make it a bigger fraction? Well, we could do that by multiplying. Let's see. If we multiplied 6 times 2, we'd end up with 12. And if we multiplied 18 by 2, let's go back to our multiplication video. 18 times 2 equals 2 times 8 is 16. I'll put the 6 down here and carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Well, that answer is 36. So 36 is the number that goes at the bottom of my fraction. And 12/36 is an equivalent fraction to 6/18. So go ahead and try your exercises, and good luck with them, and we'll see you back again in the next